Why are you not out fishing right now? Hey, I'm Ben. I'm a huge fly fisherman. You know what's fun sometimes? Fly fishing. You know what makes fly fishing way more funner? When you can actually see the fish instead of just hoping they are there. If you can see a fish, you have a much better chance of catching it because you know exactly where to cast and you can react to the fish's body language. In this video, I'm gonna give you some tips for seeing fish. I'm talking about freshwater, saltwater, anywhere. Before I tell you what to look for, let's talk about some of your fashion choices because it matters. The first thing you're gonna need is some sunnies. Some cool shades, man. I cannot overstate the importance of polarized glasses for helping you see into the water. A polarizing filter is a horizontal filter. It blocks out the vertical light rays that cause glare. That is why polarized glasses are better for fishing than whatever you picked up at Buc-ee's. So if you want to see into the water, which is where fish live most of the time, polarized glasses are mandatory. There's also that whole other thing that I've talked about a lot. Still accessorizing here, get yourself a hat with a brim. This will shade your eyes from the glare of the sun, which allows you to what? See fish in the water. You've got lots of style options for hats, that's up to you. But please know that just like coolness of fishing methods, all hat brims are not equal. What I'm saying is get a hat with a brim that's black underneath. Have you ever tried to fish with a hat bill that's light underneath? It's kind of distracting. You want it to be a dark color. It's like when sports ball players wear eye black. Same thing, just above your eyes instead of below. A dark hat will help you see better. So, sunglasses and a hat. Beyond that, the only thing you really need to spot a fish is at least one eyeball. For me, seeing fish comes down to three things. You're looking for movement, shape, and color. Let's start with movement. Say you're on a trout stream where typically a trout is sitting still in the current. Here's a pro tip for you. Rocks don't move. They aren't alive. Trout are alive, and even when they're sitting still in the current, they're still moving a little bit. Maybe up and down or to the side to grab a bit of food. Maybe they're just slowly undulating their body to hold position. It might be a tail or a fin flick. I've spotted fish because they ate something and I saw the white inside their mouth. When trout are holding in the current, their movements might be subtle, but they are there. Just don't get fooled by a patch of weeds because they can sometimes look a lot like fish. Still talking about movement, let's take it to a saltwater flat. Here, the fish are generally swimming and moving over the bottom. So you need to figure out if that dark shape that you see is moving in relation to the other shapes and blobs around it. If you can determine that the object you suspect might be a fish is moving, it's probably something alive. Might be a stingray, but you better go chase it down and find out. Okay, we did movement. Next is shape. Pro tip number 2. If you're actively looking for fish, look for objects that are fish-shaped. Typically long and skinny, unless you're like flounder fishing or something. If you're fishing a flowing river, you're looking for fish shapes that are in line with the current, not diagonal or perpendicular or anything else. In non-moving water, a fish could be facing any which way and you're just looking for that fish shape. You also need to be looking for shapes of a particular size. Trout fishing on a small creek, you're looking for shapes this big. Bone fishing? Maybe somewhere in here. If you're looking for fish that can potentially get much bigger, you need to change the scale of what you're looking for. You might see a redfish that's a foot long or 4 feet long. That tree trunk you see in the water might be a fish, and you want to be sure about that before you run it over and spook it. All right, now we'll do color. Fish have what's called counter shading. They're light on the belly and dark on the back, just like your mom. Their dark back helps them blend in with the substrate when you're looking at them from above, which makes things tough for us, the angler. One thing you should look for is anomalies, like a dark spot over a light background or vice versa. You're looking for something different, something that sticks out. A lot of times what you end up seeing is the fish's fins instead of the body, especially pectoral or caudal fins. They might catch the light just right, or the fish might move in a way where their fins are sort of highlighted and suddenly you can see them. Another thing about color that comes to mind is the white edge of brook trout fins. They stand out, or the black adipose fin of a whitefish. Look for these little parts of fish that are different from what's around them. Before we move on from color, I want to mention one of my favorite guide-isms. I learned this one red fishing with Captain Rob Burden. He'll call out fish as showing light or showing dark, and I think it is super helpful when I'm on the bow. When he calls out 2 o'clock, 60 feet, showing light, I already know what I'm looking for, and I'm just a little bit ahead of the game. So that's just something to remember. Sometimes a fish will look like it's painted in Vanta black, and sometimes it'll look like it's glowing from within. I think that's neat, showing light and showing dark. Okay, next thing to look for when you're trying to spot fish: shadows. I don't mean look in the shadows from trees or docks or something. I mean you're looking for the shadow of the fish itself. This is going to require some sunshine, but if you've got fish that are up off the bottom a little bit, they're going to make a shadow, which is usually much more conspicuous than the actual fish. It might be moving, it might be sitting still, but it's a real good visual clue that can help you get a bead on a fish. The last thing we'll talk about isn't so much about seeing an actual fish, but more about locating a specific area where fish are doing fish stuff. If fish are around and active, they will generally let you know that they are there. You'll know this because of surface disturbances. So take a moment and just look at the water and look for stuff. Rising trout, rolling tarpon, tailing carp, waking redfish. Sometimes it's a subtle rainbow trout taking an emerger in the film. Sometimes it's a 150-pound tarpon jumping completely out of the water. Look for those visual clues and go catch those fish. And that's it for this huge fly fisherman video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Until then, when you see a fish, try to cast at its head and not its tail, and stay huge. Why am I not out fishing right now?